return to What the Hell Is This for the sale. The Tarsem Singh movie. Well, I think he was going by Tarsem at that point, but it's his big debut out to the mainstream cinema, and it was a bomb, and it was terrible. Now, I know people who like this film. I know two people specifically who like this film a lot. So I hope you enjoy this video, because I don't. I really don't. I saw this on DVD years ago when it came out on DVD. I got it cheap and I watched it and I was like, it's not very good. Then I watched it recently, I projected it recently, and oh boy does it stink. And this, it's just one of those ones that's like, it's so badly made in every way. It's like, it's one of those ones that I don't understand people who like it, what film they're watching. I just don't get it. I mean, I'd love to see a response or a video explaining why they like it, because I don't get it. This feels like a miscast, terribly written film that's seen every serial killer movie and every virtual reality movie, try and put them into one, and do not have any clue about any of the genres that they're commenting on. And the casting's terrible, and even when they cast it kind of vaguely right, they end up not giving the people anything to do. So, Vincent D'Onofrio, who's the best part of the film, easily, even though he's hardly stretched, is a serial killer who's going around killing these women, but he doesn't kill them directly. He drowns them, and then he purifies the body, and he treats them like a sex object, but he's got these weird hang-ups, and he's hung up on the ceiling by his flesh. So there's lots of potentially, well, this could be really disturbing, this could really deliver something new in the serial killer movie and all the rest of it, and no, it doesn't. It's just a visual. Anytime you see something that looks interesting, whenever you expect it to really go deep into this film, into the whys and wherefores, that's as far as you're going to get, the visual. That's all they understand. Because as soon as that happens, you go to Jennifer Lopez, and she's this person who goes into people's dreams and is a therapist for people in their dreams to try and help them get out of a problem. Like, there's this boy who won't wake up because he has a disease. Even though his body's fine, he will not psychologically pull himself out to wake up. So she's trying to reach him in this dream simulator thing. I mean, don't explain what she's doing at all. It's just like, I'm doing these things to make them feel they can trust me to pull them out, and that's as far as it goes. That's all you can understand about it, because it doesn't quite make sense visually, because the visuals are just going for, oh, let's put her in a vast desert, and there's a tree there, and she looks beautiful, and later on, let's do some Virgin Mary stuff with her. It's like the most basic, blatant stuff. It's like, well, there's nothing here. There's nothing in the visuals that's telling you how this thing's working. And then when you're going to explain it, it's terribly acted scenes where the actors are just like, we'll talk and we'll say the lines and we'll try and look. Jennifer Lopez is trying to look empathetic the whole time, but she has nothing to say, like nothing at all. And there's other actors who are doing the tech stuff with her, and you can see these actors drowning. There's nothing they can do, like, at all with this stuff. It's like they're in a soap opera, and you have a lot of good actors in this supporting parts, all of whom are basically in soap opera. It's really bad, and you feel bad for the actors involved. Every one of them you feel bad for, because they've nothing to do, and there's nothing they can relate to life to actually give this emotion. It's like, just do soap opera acting is the way I get out of it. I've got to say right now, I had to watch this film in 3 parts because it was so bad that I could not take it. I had to stop, start. Like, I'd watch a film and I'd watch 20 minutes of this one just before I stopped. It was like that to get through this one. It was like Battlefield Earth for how bad the acting was. But most important, how terrible the script was, because The script never linked anything together. There's no way any actor can actually do this stuff. Because they don't know what they're actually saying. It's like, how does this technique work? I looked pretty in a dream. That's pretty much the depth this film has for your psychological insights. I looked pretty in a dream. Or I looked dark in a dream. There's just nothing. They're trying to suggest more, like there's trauma and below of all these characters that have to deal with the trauma in healthy ways and stuff. But there's nothing there. I mean, the actors don't have a clue. The actors have not been directed. You just feel there's no direction going on for the actors. They're just trying their best to say these lines that don't make sense. And they're suggesting things about their emotions that don't come through from who they've cast. You know, because Jennifer Lopez doesn't look right for this part. Like, she looks miscast throughout. And she looks like she's struggling badly because she's been cast for her looks, but they give her no human thing to play. It's just like, look pretty and look empathetic. Anything else? No, that's fine. That's what she's been asked to do. The whole film is like, you can. She's been good in other films. I mean, this was not long after Out of Sight and Much Time with Jack Nicholson, Blood and Wine. So it was like, so obviously she's talent. It's like, just look pretty and empathetic. That's it. Show no backbone, show no nothing. Please do not look human at all. It's that kind of thing. It's like, well, just pick up a paycheck and just get through this as quickly as possible. Because she's given nothing to do. Then we have Vince Vaughn come into it. And Vince Vaughn, who's an actor I like all the actors in this film I've liked and stuff, right? I like Vince Vaughn generally because I think he's a fun actor. In this one, he has nothing to do. He's been miscast horribly as a sensitive. Right, it starts off. He comes into the film and he does the standoff shot away from everyone else, like he's the maverick profiler for the serial killers. So that's the first 5 minutes of his character, and then he comes in and he's this weird maniac who's so empathetic towards the victim that he's obsessed, and you don't believe any of it because he's given everything he's given is a cliche, and the cliches bash against each other. But he's been miscast because they've tried to not use his personality at all for this part. It's just like, say these really cliched lines, but with no edge to them. Do not look as if you could ever do this job, please. Like, just nothing. Do nothing. Do nothing interesting. With a snark, no, do nothing. Nothing. Just be blank. Just be a blank slate and see these lines. That's what it's like. He just looks miserable throughout the film. He just looks like he's confused by what the hell he's doing. I defend Vince Vaughn from Psycho. I've defended him for a lot of films that people don't like. And it's like, again, they've taken away everything he can do, which is a much more kind of grounded. In his films, he tends to be fairly grounded. And this one is just do nothing lifelike. Do nothing like. Do not do anything you're actually good at. Just do the cliche. Nothing else. Just do the cliche. And see all these lines of films we've seen before, and have the character not really make any sense, and have the thing of, I used to be a prosecutor, and then I get burnt out and became a FBI profiler. How the hell does that work, even? Everything's just a cliche in this film. Everything's just this, I'll throw this bit of story with this bit and hope it works. Nothing makes sense as a person. No person would do any of that stuff. It's really stupid. And that's part of the point where I turned it off the second time. It was like, these scenes are horrible. I cannot get through this garbage. This is painful. This is so painful. So then I finally got through to the final bit of the film, which is when they go into the dream of Vince D'Onofrio, because he's been captured. He's in a coma, and they have to enter his dreams to find out where the girl is. He's kidnapped, who will die in 14 hours. Because it's that kind of film. Like, it's a film where a serial killer kidnaps someone, goes to a different location before killing her, so he can get caught. And it's like, and then basically, all they had to do to find her actually was to look at one manufacturer thing on his work table. And if he'd done that, they'd have figured it out in 2 minutes. And it's like, wow. And it's like, well, that'd be standard procedure, wouldn't it? It's that kind of stupid. But it's like, wow. The whole third act doesn't need to happen. But they go into his mind. She is lost in his mind. She sees him as a young boy, as an abused boy who, the innocent within this serial killer who's doing all this horrible things to women. And of course, they present him as this innocent boy because that's the cliche of the week. He's fighting against the older version of himself, who's played by Vince D'Onofrio, who's the big monster, and they're doing all these extravagant art house stuff with weird costumes and a pony that gets separated into all these parts as if it's an art installation, and every shot is an art installation. It all looks beautiful. What's it got to do with this character and his upbringing and his way of viewing himself? I have no idea. They're trying to suggest it's a big fantasy in his world that connects all these dolls and all the rest of it, and it doesn't feel like it's connected at all. I mean, if you look at something like Manhunter, the character of the Tooth Fairy has a fantasy world within him as well, but it's done much more carefully, and it's done much more like, this is what he feels, but it's not reality, it's just how he feels, it's just his way of coping. And it's underplayed and you feel it, and it actually is an emotional tug of the character. And this one is so fantastical, there's no emotional tug at all, it's just like, and there's also the thing of, oh, this was a child who was abused and turned into this monster. And it's like, you've just made it sound stupid now. You've made it sound really like, how does this get to this? You don't have a clue how to explain it. I'll just put lots of pretty pictures up. And you have to go through all this stuff. And Vince Vaughn goes into the dream at some point as well to help her out, because she gets lost in the dream for some reason. Because they don't explain how it works, then his presence engulfs her and turns her mad. For some reason, which is never explained. It's not explained how her character to fall this badly quickly. It's not explained within his character any powers he's got of manipulation. He's just a sad serial killer of a weird fantasy world. It doesn't make sense. It's just big fantasy sequences. Then finally, Vince Vaughn goes in to help her. He helps her out, finds a clue, which he should have spotted like half an hour ago in the film, because it's so obvious, and just leaves her. So he's trying to save a woman in peril, and he leaves a woman in peril behind. Doesn't get her out of it. He just says, "Oh, you go back in there. Well, I got you out there, but you can go back in if you want. I'm going to go do this." Well, there's this whole thing of her, "Oh, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to manipulate everything so that I can get back in." And it's like, there's nothing that explains that. And obviously, she'd been messed up before. Why don't you just pull her out of there and say, "No, you're not going back in, and we're changing the code so you get no access for now," which a professional would do. Instead, they do this stupid thing. So the big hero leaves the woman who's messed up to go and save this other woman when he could have just made a phone call. He didn't even need to be there. Of course, he has to go there to find a woman, have the big emotional scene where he finds a woman, because it's a cliche they like. Even though they don't really seem to even care about what the meaning is for anything in this film. It's just like, oh, that's the new cliche we're going to use. You know, new cliche sounds stupid. It's new to this film. Every cliche in this film sounds as if they'd written things as new, which is probably what I was trying to get at. The whole film is so frustrating because there's no links to anything. Everything's just there. Like, we'll just throw tons of fantasy at you and hope for the best. We'll do this and hope for the best. No character acts as if they have a brain in their head. And then even when she goes back into Dream to save the little boy version, it's not motivated. It's not established enough to motivate it. It just feels like he's trapped within the monster of Vince D'Onofrio. She saves him, but he's going to die anyway. There's nothing she can do. It's just a tragedy. But no, she can save him with the power of looking at the Virgin Mary. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That's the end of this film. She looks at Virgin Mary and she purifies him and kills the monster version that kills him too in his dream and redeems him and for the sickle serial killer. I'm not kidding, it's just like pure vanity on the part of the writer. Like, look, I've discovered how to solve serial killers. Virgin Mary it. It's woeful. It's just so bad. This whole film is so stupid. It's so terrible. It's definitely down there with one of the worst stuff, one of the worst films I've seen. And it does look beautiful, but it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, you really want to, it's one of those films you want to punch in the face. I don't want to say much more about it because I'm getting annoyed even thinking about it. It's just that dumb. But just avoid it. And if you don't avoid it, it's your own fault. Because this is bad. I still want to know what these people I know who like it actually like about it, because for me it's just an abysmal mess. So I just don't get it. I don't get anything about why this film, everyone's like this film. It's one of those films that's like, it just baffles me that people like it. But there you go. Different strokes for different folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you later with some more. Right, bye for now.